The chicken lives.
It's a Christmas miracle.
What do you mean upload schedule? I'm on schedule. I'm on like 3 videos a year schedule. Shut the fuck up. Oh, Fresh Wipe is here. The most wonderful time of the year. God bless. But hey, now you don't have your inventory. You don't have your traders leveled. You don't have flea market. No, you're gonna have to use poo-poo ass level 1 trader guns? How are you gonna choose one? We all know how frustrating it is to feel disadvantaged in a fight due to a bad weapon, especially when you're broke and you spent your ruble life savings on it. Money's always a struggle at the start of the wipe, so you want to make the biggest bang out of your buck. So, which of these suck and which ones are good, and how should you go about using them? Here's a guide to the early wipe metaguns. Okay, so first of all, if you casually ask me what gun you should use, I'd say, I don't know. Try everything out, friend. We're here for the ride, not the destination. Just grab what looks cool and fun to you. But that would be fun. And the Tarkov community is notoriously allergic to the F word. Fun? What the fuck is that? Get it away from me. Anyway, let's get right into the top recommendation. Everything else is just extra. You got 2 brain cells and no love, and you're going into a raid and you just need a simple fuck stick to deprive Tarkov denizens of their being alive privileges. Look no further than the SKS. This is your breadwinner right here. Cheap gun, cheap ammo. Oh, wait, scratch that. On new wipe, you can't buy 7.62 PS until proper level 2 now. But it's super easy to find ammo in raid. Just grab it off some scav and shove it in your container. For the love of God, don't use HP. High penetration, high damage, decent recoil, decent fire rate, accurate at range, and deadly up close. With early wipe armor, you'll most likely kill anyone with 2 to 3 shots to the torso. Of course, you should be going for headshots most of the time, but in clutch situations, having that bang reset, bang, up your sleeve will save your life. Level 1 proper sells the regular one for 21k. That's just peanuts. Jaeger sells the OP variation with the dovetail mount for optics for 30k. He also sells the dovetail mount on its own if you need it, plus a Cobra mount which you can mount most optics on. Remember that the non-OP version will not take mounts, therefore not take optics. Prepper sells optics that go directly on the gun, including long range ones for sniping. When in doubt, remember to do a linked search on the mount to see what goes on it. Peacekeeper sells a 20 round replaceable max for it, but otherwise you could just top load loose bullets. Mechanic now sells a complete Tapco stock which you can mount a sight and a foregrip on if you want to Gucci your gun out early. Set up the whole thing, get the pistol grip, buffer tube, and put any M4 stock on it. If in doubt, use linked searches. Last thing, if you're using the iron sights, I'd recommend taking the rear sight off because the gun's just as accurate but with a way nicer sight picture. That said, any 7.62x39 gun will have the same advantages as the SKS, like the Viper KM. You can get a Bastion cover on Skier to mount sights, the AK-101 handguard on Prapper to mount a foregrip and a flashlight, and a compensator on Mechanic if your gun doesn't have one. 30 round mags are not obtainable on level 1 traders, so keep an eye out for scavs carrying them in the raid. You can also use a full auto AKM if you want to miss every single shot in your magazine and die. I mean, it can be useful in certain scenarios, like if you're prone, but nah. Now we're past the big bullet, slow shooting ones to the small bullet, fast shooting ones. I'm talking about SMGs. Very powerful early wipe. Their only downside is low penetration, but with the fast fire rate and very low recoil, having 1 bullet in the swarm of angry bees pluck the nose out of someone is a lot easier. It also means you get more of that valuable XP bonus from headshot kills, and in many cases you can also buzzsaw someone's dice off. With 9x19, use that massive pile of PST you start with, and you can even shoot through level 2 armor. All in all, great choice for any encounter up to about 50 meters away. Of course, you're not gonna go sniping with this, but you can efficiently run them on any map with the proper movement. Onto the guns themselves, they're all viable in similar ways, so I'm gonna kind of skim through. The MP5 is king here, German excellence. Easily accessible, great base stats. You can get it on Peacekeeper 1 for this barter. Just grab round handle knives from scavs whenever you got room. I recommend never bringing a knife into the race, so you always have a free slot for roll. You can put on this mount for optics from him too if you're feeling like investing a little more. Great recoil, great fire rate, melt some faces off, melt some legs off, melt some chests off too. Next up is the UMP. The Germans are really dominating the market in this one. A little harder to get, you can do the black handle knife bar. You can get mods on it by default. Grip, flashlight sight. A lot slower firing, got that typewriter vibe. It's very controllable. Get some 45 match, penetrates level 2 armor, and has a lot more flash damage than the standard 9mm. Go get some! These 2 are priority. The rest are less versatile, but still decent options to work with if it's all you got. Ketters, Clins, PPSHs, they all fill a similar niche. They have no penetration, they're harder to aim with, but they have a bonkers fire rate, which is just scary to come up against. These are great lag melters, with the exception of the suppressed Ketter if you run into one. That thing is a laser beam, an unreal face melter. Sega 9s are everywhere and you can get them on Skier. It's a great option on a hard budget, like the pistol with 0 recoil. The STM is even better at this role and you can put a sight on it. Might be a controversial opinion, but to me the PP19 is the worst of the bunch. Unmodded just has a slow fire rate, but somehow way worse recoil than MP5s or UMPs. Kind of frustrating to use, I wouldn't recommend it. Alright, next up, shotguns. Ooh. They fill a very specific niche. Where the range is short, the fire rate is not great, and the recoil is horrible, but the way buckshot works makes it all worthwhile. Crazy damage, and it's very hard to miss with it. Get some 6.5 Express on Jaeger to make use of that tighter spread, which gives you some better range. Then you just have to vaguely aim in your target's direction. At this point, either their face has been blown off or they have like 4 different body parts to heal. Spam shots until something happens, or take a pot shot to make them think about their life choices for a bit. Running into a shotgun player who knows what they're doing is a miserable experience. Sega 12, MP153, and 155 are the way to go. Do not, I repeat, do not use pump actions. They just take away any advantage you have in fire rate and are much harder to aim on follow-up shots. You're just handicapping yourself. In contrast, the double barrel is quite the spec. special little one. It's dirt cheap, and its potential to fire 2 shots simultaneously means that pot shot thing can be twice as deadly. If you're ever broke, naked double barrel is about as much bang for your buck as you can get. Few things are more satisfying in this game than making some dumbass slip on a banana peel. I've given you plenty of the do's, now let's go on to the don'ts. Next up is the suck list. Starting with the pump action shotguns I just mentioned. To the garbage with you. Some people recommend the 366 TKM VPO 209, which you can have with DKO rounds when level in game. But it's just the worst Vapor KM at the same price. Higher recoil, less penetration, not worth it. Get your hands on some AP rounds though. Penetrates almost anything and can one-hit kill the thorax. Anyway, shit. Level 1 traders, smaller rifle rounds like 5.56 and 5.45 are mediocre at best. Unmodded AKs and M4s are worse at penetration than the 7.62 while not much better on recoil. Meaning you can't bank on chest shotting level 3 armor and above. And they got shit-ass recoil compared to SMGs, while not being that much better at penetrating. You're gonna have to tap fire to be accurate, might as well use a better bullet. It's the worst of both worlds. First 2 raids though, if you can't get a nice stack of good 7.62, your starter stack of either M855 or PS is actually the least shit penetration you can get. So you can put a PSO from Prapor on your AK to get a budget sniper. The M4 though is just a tragedy. Never get good until late white, when you still have to spend your second mortgage on it just so it's barely usable. Now you can't even get the low profile gas block. You're stuck looking at a fucking fork your whole raid. And I mean, look at this recoil.
Are you guys gonna raid?
That's right, buddy. You're going into the garbage.
You too. Fuck you.
And a special shout out to this piece of shit, which even fully modded is still a special brand of ass poo-poo trash. The exception being either the MDR or the RPK you get with the EOD edition of the game. Those have great stats for early wipe. Just keep the penetration limits of the ammo in mind. Pistols, they're bad at everything. Not even that cheap. They should not be your primary. For that, bro, go get a double barrel or Sega 9 instead, shitter. But Marcos, actually I get juicy raids with a pistol, bro. I get all the pistol kills. Damn, bro, congrats. You're probably pretty good at the game. Imagine how much better you do with an actual gun. Bolt action rifles. Hundreds of Mosin men and bolty goblins will hiss angrily at me right now. I'll explain in technical terms to minimize subjectivity in the discussion. They suck humongous gorilla penis. That extra damage and penetration barely matters since you still need at least 2 shots to kill anything, only you're limited to shooting extra slow. Okay, but Marcos, sniping. If you sniping and shooting that slow, it's unlikely you'll get the chance to hit someone twice. Okay, so maybe I go for headshot. Okay, why don't you go for an SKS instead, which is just about as accurate and you get to try more than once to hit that headshot. Hell, you might even get to shoot them in the chest 2 or 3 times. Without 7.62 PS on level 1 traders, at least it's the only class 4 penetration you can get from it. With a scope, it's not terrible if it's all you got, especially for hunting scabs or bosses. But I'd rather just use alternative strategies until I get better options. Shove your slavaboo boomer ass shit stick up your bum. Yeah, take the Pepper Hunter with you while you're at it. Too much recoil, not good enough ammo early wipe to make up for it, yada yada yay. Once you're level 2 on traders, you start having nicer options. You get a steady supply of nice, sweet 7.62. For the AKs, you get the recoil pad on Prapor, plus 30 round max or 7.62 on him, Skier, and Peacekeeper. You get 545 PP after a few Prapor quests too, which gets you class 3 armor pen. The Area 2 unlocks the SKS thread adapter, which allows you to put AK muzzle devices on it. Peacekeeper has some nice modding options for AKs too, plus unlocks cheap UMPs and a suppressor, which really dampens its recoil. Skier 2 gets you the 545 compensator and an RFB, very powerful choice of gun once you get decent ammo. Recoil pad, compensator, and PP makes for a very viable AK build. Okay, let's recap what we learned. SKS and Vapor are GOAT, but you won't have 7.62 PS on first raid. So you get a stack going, SMGs are your GOATs. And you semi-auto shotgun you get your hands on with pretty good. Use your MDR or RPK. You can use 5.45 AKs with PSOs to snipe in a bind. Don't count on this piece of shit. If you're mega broke, go Sega 9 or double barrel. Mosin sucks. Once level 2 comes around, AKs, UMPs, and RFPs they get real good for real cheap. That's it. Now go out there and die and blame me for my shitty advice. But before you go, hit that like, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, and all that good shit. Let me know how you feel in the comments. I love reading them. It helps with the algorithm. Send this video to your friends so hopefully they stop getting you killed, and give me a follow on Twitch if you hate fun. Thanks for watching, friend. Have a good early wipe.